Hello, Internet. Welcome back to the Story Nook. Today we are going to be reading more of I'd Rather Have a Cat Than a Harem, reincarnated into the world of an otome game as a cat living villainess. Our author is Kozuzu Kobato, and our artist is Hinano Chano. And this is our main character, Amy, our crown prince, and his bird Rudel, and the cat named Ticker. If you're wondering why I don't know the Crown Prince's name, I promptly forgot it again. It's been a minute since I've read the books. But we are on chapter 19, which is Trials and Training. And the chapter is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 pages long. My goal is probably to read to the first set of ellipses. So go ahead, grab your tea, your hot cocoa, your coffee, your liquor, whatever it is you want to drink with me today. And we shall continue reading. I currently have water. Oh, yeah. The Sea of Walham was visible from the expansive garden behind Margrave Walham's estate. There was a steep cliff on the side nearest to the beach. So, other than the lighthouse, there weren't any tall buildings in that area. It was a beautifully scenic location. Over the short safety railing, you could look out for miles across the open ocean. One of the trees there had become Tigger's favorite spot. 4 people stood in a line, their backs to the glittering ocean, the 3 students who had gone out on the hunting boat the day before, and a younger girl who was barely tall enough to reach their chest. The 3 boys were clearly nervous, only the chubby girl looked happy about the situation. I believe they have special classes with one of the wizard teachers. In front of them stood Sir Dion, the impressive former head magician with sharp eyes that never seemed to miss a thing, in a jet-black robe that seemed out of place beneath the bright blue sky. Although they were on soft grass, the 3 boys felt like they could hear the sharp click-clack of his footsteps in the lecture hall as he paced, and their backs immediately snapped into better posture. "I will be using this today," Sir Dion told Tigger, who was sitting in the tree as he approached it. Tigger wasn't disturbing Amy's class. He just wanted to be by her side. Sir Dion plucked off 4 leaves from the branch where Tigger's tail was swishing and gave 1 to each student. The unblemished, bright green leaves were so light they felt almost weightless. "Keep your leaf at eye level without touching it with your hands." Once he ordered them to begin, the 4 leaves started to float in front of their faces. Despite its outwardly simple appearance, this special exercise was incredibly challenging. Keeping the feather-light leaf suspended in air amid the constant sea breeze, which was at times infused with blasts of wind from different directions, required a precise degree of magic control. Nicholas was good at magic, but this was reflected in his calm expression. But Gilbert had always been bad at it, and with his forehead wrinkled, he was managing to keep it afloat, just barely. Amy thought it was curious that the identical twins, who usually responded to everything in the same way, would have such different facial expressions during the challenge. Amy's older brother Harold excelled at aerial combat with his dual blades, and while he was talented at outputting large amounts of magical power, he was not great at fine magical control. He was frantically adjusting his magical power back and forth, just sending the leaf flying too far above his head, and then quickly making it plummet. They carried on like that for 10 minutes, then for 15. Sir Dion, however, was showing no indication that he was about to tell them to stop. The continuous output of magical power for so long, while additionally needing to exert delicate magical control, put a great strain on their stamina. Their foreheads glistened with sweat, the color drained from their faces, but still, nobody dropped out. Sir Dion sat on a chair of smoke he had conjured magically, one leg elegantly crossed over the other. And the look in his ice blue eyes made it clear that giving up was not an option for the boys. This was only natural, as the girl beside them was 6 years younger and casually excelling at the same task. With both hands held gently in front of her, and her leaf floating perfectly still, Amy was in such a good mood she looked on the verge of humming to herself. So this is our image. We've got the brother. Which twin is which again? Nicholas is calm. Gilbert is not calm. So this one's gotta be Gilbert. This one's Nicholas. This is the brother. You don't look bothered, Harold whispered to Amy under his breath. Well, I'm always taught alone back home, so it's really fun to be able to practice with you and your friends. Amy was still too young to debut in society. Her father was typically not at home because of work, and Harold lived full-time at the school dormitories. On top of that, because Amy was naturally shy, her mother didn't force her to tag along to social events. So Amy usually spent her time by herself. In other words, Amy didn't have any friends to study or hang out with. Part of the reason why it was difficult for Amy to make friends was because she had a tendency to harden her expression when she became nervous. and her beautiful facial features made her appear a little standoffish. But the impression Amy made on others softened ever since the extra weight rounded out her face. Moreover, she had been smiling markedly more frequently since Tigger's arrival. Her genuine, guileless smile may have appeared to some a bit unsophisticated, but many wanted to protect that innocence as well. As she turned this smile to the boys and bashfully expressed her appreciation for joining her for the lesson today, their feeble complaints died in their throats. Yes, of course it would. After all, this type of exercise was often included in their school's basic training sessions. It was usually done for only a few minutes as a warm-up, but slightly extending the duration of such a simple exercise shouldn't have been a problem for the experienced students. After all, this type of exercise was often included in their school's basic training sessions. It was usually done for only a few minutes as a warm-up, but slightly extending the duration of such a simple exercise shouldn't have been a problem for the experienced students. It certainly wasn't easy for the boys. Having their magical power chipped away slowly but steadily was like receiving a series of sharp body blows without any respite. But being Amy's elders, they wanted to show off a little bit. "Nice work," cried Nick. "You can't ease up now, Gil." "But Amy's so good at this," Gil replied. "Do you do this exercise a lot?" Amy briefly looked away from the leaf levitating in front of her to smile at the twins. "Yeah, I do it around 30 minutes a day for regular practice." 30 minutes? "Well, sometimes I change the height or use 3 leaves," she admitted, brows knitting together as she spoke. "But it's a little hard with the professor conjuring wind from different directions. I just can't keep it totally still." The 3 boys were stunned. Amy was doing training exercises only a few students in the advanced magic classes at school would be able to do. Changing the height, levitating multiple. "Just how advanced are you?" they sputtered. From the way Sir Dion acted yesterday, the students had assumed he was fond of Amy, but knowing that he was teaching her much more difficult magic than he taught them, and he wasn't even going easy on her, their smiles froze awkwardly in place. "If you have the energy to chit-chat, perhaps I'm not challenging you enough." Harold let out a yelp of surprise at Sir Dion's voice. None of them had noticed him approach. Sir Dion suddenly conjured 4 large orbs of water to float above their heads with a blank look on his face. "The moment one of you lets their leaf fall, all the water orbs will break." "Watch it, Gil," Nicholas shouted. "Yours is dropping, huh?" "Ah!" Gil caught it just in time. "And we'll add this as well," Sir Dion continued, pointing his staff at them. A wind tunnel shot out, surrounding them. Even Nicholas's outlook looked poor with the new addition to the training exercise. "Wow, it's so beautiful!" The wind conjured by Sir Dion contained mica-like glitter specks, which shimmered dazzling under the sun. Sir Dion watched Amy's golden eyes sparkle as she followed the glitter swirling around her. and his expression softened for a fraction of a second. Then he turned around unsympathetically and headed back to the estate. The screams of the three boys intermingled with Amy's laughing cheers and rang throughout the garden. What the heck? This is so freaking hard. Gil, raise yours more. Nick, why is my honor orb steaming? This is so much fun. It's like a game. In almost no time, a series of noises reverberated throughout the garden overlooking the sea. First a pop, then the sound of a balloon busting, and then the torrential sounds of a waterfall. Adorably precious. Adorably precious indeed. And we've made it to our first ellipses, so I'm going to take a brief break, and then I will come back and finish this another time. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a lovely day. Remember to stay hydrated and all that good jazz. Thank you so much to my Patreon and Ko-fi supporters for supporting me so I don't have to worry so much about taking this time to just read for a few minutes a day when I should be working on other things, because bills be expensive. Your girlie's broke. If you support me on Patreon, you get early access to my artwork. If you support me pretty much anywhere, it's great. You can get my artwork and stuff on different products through my Redbubble site. My commissions are open on Ko-fi, and I've been working on writing some books, so you can also find them there. So yeah. And I don't know that. Have a great day. All that good jazz. Bye-bye. Where is it?